All right. Hello, welcome.
Hello!
We're back.
So, before we start, I went a little viral on Instagram.
Yeah.
Which is wild to me.
Why is it wild to you?
Because it's just, okay, no matter how many times we go viral, it is still strange.
It's hard to wrap your head around because
Yeah.
this video got 15 million views in the course of, 3 days or something?
3 or 4, yeah.
3 or 4 days. I just can't think of that number in my head.
And then 1.1 million likes. Like, that many people liked it?
But most importantly, Viola Davis commented on it.
How wild is that?
That's really cool.
Viola Davis commented, and so did G-Eazy's ex-wife. I forgot her name.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
I don't know who that is.
Yes, you did. I showed you her picture.
Oh, her?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
I didn't know she was G-Eazy's ex-wife. So there's some cool people commenting on that video.
Yes.
But it also brought in 20,000 new followers, right?
It's almost 20,000 new followers and some hate and assumptions about our relationship. So,
as usual.
As usual.
So this is the third time we're doing an assumptions video. The first one was 5 years ago, which is a long time. It's another hard to wrap my head around kind of number. And then another one 2 years ago. And so we're gonna do it again and see if the assumptions are the same, if they're different, and talk about them a little bit.
Yeah.
First, as much love and light as you share in socials, the toxicity and hate really hurts off screen.
That's a good question. So Cole had to kind of explain the question to me because I don't know why, just went over my head. No, but I think that was true at the beginning of our YouTube channel. Especially me, I struggled more with the hate, and I know people would say, ignore the hate.
Yeah.
Truly, it's easier said than done, especially I think some people just don't fully understand what it's like to kind of have an image out there, and then the people kind of have any opinion of you. So it is really easy to say ignore the hate, but it's much harder to do it. You could have 99 positive comments and that one negative comment just sticks out so much more, especially when it's going against your character and questioning your character. And those are the comments that bothered me more, is people questioning my character, because I truly feel people, yes, I would say you know me from watching me, but I feel there's so much more to me that isn't seen on the camera that people don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely a factor. It's so frustrating. I mean, we learned in psychology in college, losses loom larger than gains, So you have all these positive comments, like she said, but that one sore thumb just sticks out, and it's hard not to kind of get stuck on it a little bit. But that being said, we have had a lot of years under our belt now to deal with the trolls and the toxicity. But it's definitely something we see, and unfortunately we feel. It's hard not to feel things when you read things like that.
Yeah, it was definitely much harder back then. It's better now. There were moments where I wanted to quit YouTube. I was I'm done. I would rather just go back and live a quiet life, because I just was kind of over it. I was done.
Well, it's hard, man. There's some mean people out there.
For no reason.
And it's when you do what we do, and we put a lot of time and effort into creating what we consider quality product, and then someone just comes and dumps on our character. It's why did I even put the effort into this?
Or not even that, just dumps on a decision. The other day when we did the action track chair, Cole loves the action track chair.
Yeah.
And then for people to say how they don't like his chair, that's just weird to me, because you see how excited, even if the chair scares you a little, that's cool.
Be excited for someone who's excited about something.
But that's you're kind of dumping on their parade, or whatever that phrase is.
Raining on
their parade. And obviously that video, one, the sidewalks are more to be blamed than anything.
Sidewalks are terrible.
Yes, this shouldn't be that bad. But two, obviously there were some adjustments that we had to make on the track chair that's so much better now. And it's really not, sure, it's meant to go out in roads like that, but really we're taking it hiking and on the sand. It's not going to be bumpy like that when we actually take it out.
No.
Anyway, so it's just moments like that. It does kind of bother us a little bit, but at the end of the day, we love the track chair. We're having so much fun. It gets Cole out and about. We love our life, and we just have to remember that. And then the positive comments from people, seeing people's love and excitement, that really does help, and we have to weigh those heavily. Sometimes it is just hard though.
Yeah. I want other people to see the good stuff that's going on out there.
Yeah, exactly. Cole is an early bird and Charisma is a night owl. Wrong.
That's so wrong. That's about as wrong as it can be.
Well, okay, so it's the opposite.
Right.
But I think now more so we're both night owls.
I've worked on charisma. You know, I brought her to the dark side, and now we stay up nice and late.
Yeah, so
We'll see if it lasts though.
we'll see. But yes, I used to be an early bird. I would always wake up at like 6 or 7 in the morning, wide awake. Let's get going. Yeah. But now we've been going to bed at like 1 in the morning every night. I'm not waking up at 6 a.m. I'm not getting sleep. So we've become night owls.
1 a.m. is too late. We shouldn't be doing that. And I'm sure we'll have that one person in the comments telling us the importance of getting your sleep and waking up on time.
No, we do get our sleep. We go to sleep at 1 a.m. and we wake up. We get our 8 hours. We do not. We make sure. Because I can't function with little sleep. I'm cranky and I just can't function.
It's too important.
It is too important.
You gotta have it. And speaking of nights, this one, you snuggle each other every night. That is absolutely correct. We are big on the snuggles, and it's very particular. Yeah. We have to snuggle in a specific way. I'm kind of on my side, but then I roll back. Charisma's around my right arm. I got my fluffy pillow around my left arm. I get my pillow tucked in just perfect, and then she kind of puts her pillow on my face. And so all you can see is my nose. Yeah. I'm warm. I'm sleeping.
Cole's very specific about his nighttime. I just like curl up on Cole and like wrap my leg around him and like put my feet on his feet, and that's just kind of how I do it. And we fall asleep.
It's so comfortable.
It is so comfortable.
I love it.
I can't fall asleep without it. Like sometimes I roll on my back and I put my back on his back and then he wraps his arm around me. Either way, we're still cuddling to fall asleep, and then we'll wake up like 20 minutes later and get off each other because it's too hot.
That's true. So it doesn't last too long most of the time. Although the other night, it did last into the night, and when I woke up, my arm was covered in sweat. Drenched. I was like, Charisma, what is happening over there?
I think we had fallen asleep for like 4 hours cuddling.
Yeah. So it was sweaty.
We were tired, yeah.
Very sweaty.
You were not considering adoption as a means of growing your family. It's a good question.
It's a good question. Charisma and I are optionizers.
Yeah.
So we love to have options. We also have a very open heart as well. So yeah, our hearts are open to all of the options, and we're going to explore them all as we've been exploring them for the past 2 years.
Yeah, but I will say we're not like pursuing adoption. Like we're not on adoption websites. We're not saving money to adopt, and we're also not going through foster care, because you can go through foster care and match, and then you'll match with a child that is, ready to be adopted, whose parents no longer have rights. But we're not doing that either. So we're not pursuing adoption, but if it happens to be a situation where adoption makes sense for the child and for us, then, we will strongly consider it. But yeah, it's just not something we are pursuing right now.
But our hearts are open in the future, and we're just kind of moving through life, figuring it out as we can.
Yeah. 100%.
I assume that you get physically tired, but you stay strong. I think this is directed at Charisma.
I think I do get physically tired. I think that just like anyone else gets physically tired from things, I think I'm the same, but I think more so I get emotionally tired. And so I do need more emotional support at times, like overwhelm and stress. I have a bit of anxiety, and so I think I have like those struggles. So yeah, and of course I try to stay strong. I think we both try to stay strong for each other in different like situations and circumstances. But if there's ever a moment where I do feel weak, I know that I can easily communicate that to Cole and like share if I'm feeling overwhelmed and if I just need to have a lazy day because there's a lot happening and I need a break. Like he easily allows me to do that or go out for the day and he can stay home by himself. So
of course
we have a good balance.
Yeah, it's all about balance. And we talked a lot about how like she's my physical caregiver, I'm her emotional caregiver. So that's my job. My role in the relationship, and I love this job. It's one of my favorite jobs.
You are also my physical caregiver too. You do a lot of things physically. You do the laundry, you clean up. Every time we eat dinner, he grabs my plate and like puts it near the sink. Like he cleans up every night. Although you did do that last night.
Because you had a bunch of on your plate.
You just cussed.
Oh, sorry.
Jesus.
So it's a balance, like we said, and it's communicating with each other and being the type of caregiver they need in the moment.
Yeah.
It changes.
Yeah, we're both each other's caregivers. I think that's a misconception, is that like I do most of the care for Cole, but he cares for me just as much as I care for him. It's just in different ways. But he is a huge emotional caregiver for me, and I think that's a huge role for him. That's big. I struggle sometimes with the emotions. And so he's really, really, really good at that, and I'm really good at supporting physically. And we balance each other out really well.
It is good balance.
Yeah.
Yin and yang.
Literally, in so many ways.
I didn't even think about that. That's funny. Okay, you don't have arguments. LOL.
LOL. Whoa. LOL. No, I think we're normal.
Yeah, we're a couple that goes through stuff. We are in a marriage that over the past couple of years, especially since coming to LA, we've had a lot of opportunity for growth. And a lot of opportunity for growth means that there are growing pains at times. And
y'all, if you want to test, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt, but if you want to test your relationship, move cross country without any help.
And have one of you be disabled at the same time.
Yeah, and then go through IVF. And then
also by yourself.
Also by yourself with no one here to help.
Yeah.
And then lose 2 pregnancies and then not end up pregnant and then figure out where you want to go in life. If you want to test your relationship, we highly recommend that because you end up stronger at the end. I mean, I feel like because we went through that.
Yeah, dude. To go through all of that and not argue, I would have to be a Shaolin monk. Okay? And I'm not a monk.
No,
I'm a quadriplegic.
Okay. No, I think it's so unrealistic to. I mean, I've heard of couples who said they have never argued. I don't know how.
Yeah, praise be for
Yeah.
y'all, but man.
We handle things differently. Like how I would want things handled, he handles differently, and vice versa. How Cole thinks, I think differently, and vice versa. So we had to learn how to support each other in hard moments, and we've had hard moments. The first 2 years living here in California, or a year, whatever. It was challenging, but we did it.
Yeah, it got testy at times, but we pulled through. We're stronger for it.
Yeah. I know, we recently talked about it, man, going through that has really, transformed our relationship. It's just, we just feel like we're in such a good place.
Yeah.
And we understand each other, and, and I think we understood each other from the beginning, but it's, even more intense. It's I'm you and you are me. I know you better than you know yourself, and you know me better than I know myself at this point.
I do feel that way. So I've got some things I want to talk to you about.
Yeah, likewise.
That you can improve on.
Yeah, likewise, Cole.
We're going to argue about that later.
No, I think now, our arguments are just way more, they're conversations, honestly. We'll voice something we're frustrated about or whatever, and we just talk it out.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'm sitting on Cole's lap, hugging him while we're talking about something we're disagreeing on.
Yeah.
We make sure to be close and touchy when we're having these conversations because it helps ground us.
Or it helps if we're in pitch black.
Yes. Yeah,
that helps too.
At night.
Maybe that's weird. I don't know. Maybe that's a common thing with couples, but in bed, snuggling with the lights off are some of our best conversations.
Yes. Yeah, and we really get deep. I don't know. Maybe that's something you can try with your partner. Have a conversation with the lights off. It really helps.
Because then you can just cry your eyes out and they don't even know.
No, you know.
What, from the body shaking?
From the sound of your voice. No, it's just you feel like you can be you and truly express how you feel without seeing someone's face. Sometimes someone's facial reaction makes it harder for you to speak your voice. Yeah, that's what Cole does.
This is my face.
Yeah.
All right, moving on.
Yes.
That you genuinely really like each other, and it's not just for social media and stuff. Yes, we do like each other, and it is genuine.
No, Cole's legit my best friend, and that's another thing we've had conversations about a lot lately. Is I don't know if it's rare. No, seriously, I genuinely like Cole as a person.
I think I might like you.
I think I may like you too.
Oh my gosh, I need to go write a note right now.
Oh my gosh. It's just more than love. I really want to spend all my time with Cole, and almost 7 years later, I am still not tired of him. When am I going to get tired of him?
That's a good question.
Yeah.
It's got to be on the horizon. Because I know how I am.
Oh my gosh. No, there are moments where I'm oh gosh, I need to go in another room. Of course.
Yeah, well, me too.
Yeah. We all have our moments.
No, we genuinely like each other.
Yeah.
And everything we do in our videos and all of our content, it's all, we try to be as authentic as possible. Yeah. Of course, we have fun and we exaggerate and we might play something up or, have a little bit. When she went to New York and I was crying and I turned myself into a skeleton, I didn't actually die. But at the same time, when she left, I did feel sick and almost threw up. So But you can function without me too. You kind of exaggerated that idea that you couldn't. Well, right. Yeah. For the bit. Yeah. I can't function without you though. I think I would die. Well. I need your care.
But like you can have someone else care for you, and like anyway. Like I think no, we do genuinely like each other. We're very like comfortable around each other. I am me. I've never been so open and comfortable around anyone in my life.
Charisma's just an extension of myself at this point.
Yes, same.
As I am for you.
Yeah. You can't separate us. Sorry. It ain't happening.
It ain't happening.
You really want biological children, but you're afraid to try again.
That's a good question.
Really good question.
We've shared how going through infertility was very challenging.
Mm-hmm.
So, considering trying for a bio kid again, that is factoring into our decision making. And how could it not? You know, it's too important and it should be considered. We are thinking about what we want to do.
Mm-hmm.
And again, we're open to all options. I would think that you're correct with that assumption though. I think there's some fear of like going back into IVF.
Heck yeah, I don't want to do it.
There you have it.
I literally do not want to do it again.
It's a lot of crap you have to go through. And I mean, we would go about it differently this time to like test our embryos and do maybe some lifestyle changes to get our bodies in the perfect position. But, you know, it didn't even work last time, you know?
Yeah.
So I think we would probably, once we're ready, like maybe talk about trying naturally for a while and before even getting back into that.
Yeah, I honestly think we can get pregnant naturally. I think there's just some things that we have to do a little bit differently. I think some people don't have to have the perfect lifestyle and they can get pregnant. I think some people have to have the perfect lifestyle to get pregnant. I think we're one of those people. I think we truly have to be the perfect weight. We have to be eating the perfect amount of things. Yeah. We cannot be drinking. We cannot be, like, we have to be working out. Like, I think that our bodies legit have to be ideal for us to get pregnant. And some people don't have to be like that. So I think that we can get pregnant naturally because I'm not ready to do IVF again. I don't want to do IVF again. I hated everything about it. And not even the shots. The shots were fine. The emotional toll that IVF has is too much. And I literally just said I feel like I just recovered. Yeah. Again, I think this should be a whole conversation for another video because I think there's so much layers there. But yeah. So yes, the answer is true. Yeah, I'm terrified. But I'm not terrified to try naturally. I'll try naturally. Naturally is fun. Way more fun.
Yes. Way more fun than needles.
Yes.
It's a different kind of prick. I had to say it. I had to.
Next.
Some days aren't as easy as it seems. Okay, all right. Let's address the stay positive motto. We do believe in that, you know, as a principle, you know, and we try to exemplify that in life and enact that, embody it. But no, dude, no, some days suck. Some days are terrible. This morning, one of the first things that happened to me is a back spasm almost threw me out of my wheelchair.
It was bad. Like, I thought your anti-tippos were not going to stop you.
Yeah, dude. I felt them flex.
Yeah, I felt them flex too.
It was literally so intense. I went backwards, went into my tipper bars, and then I felt my chair like kind of bend backwards. Like, oh my god.
Yeah, I had to run over and like.
That was the second one.
Oh.
That was the first time I was in the bedroom. I pushed my chair. My back spasm threw me back, and I couldn't even stop myself, so I just rammed the door.
Oh, I didn't even hear it.
Yeah. So annoying.
Yeah.
So that's how my day started. Stay positive.
I think that there we have some challenging moments behind the scene. But here's the thing: we try to be positive outlets for people, right? So if we come on here and say, "Oh my gosh, this week was horrible," and talk about it, it's not going to uplift anyone. And we want to uplift. We have our outlets where we talk to our friends, Shane and Hannah. We call them like, "Bro, guess what just happened?" And like, we will vent to them all day long, and vice versa, they'll vent to us. But you guys don't have to be that outlet, and we don't want y'all to be that outlet. So yeah, we have our hard moments, and I think we talk about our hard moments. Sure. But we don't want that.
We've shown some of them too.
We've shown some of them. But yeah, absolutely, things are harder than it seems sometimes. We have our days, especially IVF. That entire year going through IVF was the hardest years of our relationship. So.
Oh yeah. It's definitely hard sometimes.
What?
Oh, this one's great. I think you guys cuss up a storm off camera. We can't be sweet all the time, right? Yeah.
Oh my God, Cole. Oh my goodness.
Oh, am I still on camera?
Oh my gosh, that's so intense. No, we try to keep it family friendly on YouTube. So we purposely do that because we know that some younger kids watch and we want to be respectful and people like are like, oh, my grandson loves watching you guys. So we want to.
Want to be accessible to all.
Yeah.
But when we're off camera.
Especially when we're playing video games. Especially when we're playing Mario Kart against each other. Ah!
If you want a different side, come to our Twitch.
Yeah.
Twitch.tv/RollWithCole.
Yeah.
It's a little more chill. But yeah, we want everybody to be able to enjoy the content and benefit from it. Also, YouTube, they have their own monetization policies and stuff.
Yeah.
And we just don't feel the need to curse much.
It's just not necessary.
Even when we're off camera, it's not like we're using the F word every other word.
No.
We're not a sailor. We're still adults.
No, like sometimes we just put a little extra emphasis on how we feel when expressing a story, you know?
Add a little humor.
Yeah.
All right, charisma is faking the happy-go-lucky image. Ooh.
It's so funny because I've gotten this kind of comment from the beginning of our channel. Like people would just say, charisma's too bubbly, there's no way charisma's is happy and blah, blah, blah. And I find it so interesting because I feel like people look at our relationship and just cannot understand how I could be happy, how I could like not be miserable, be smiley all the time, but I am. And of course I have my down days. Everyone has their down days. But like overall, like dude, the other day I woke up and I was like off the walls.
Yeah.
I was like all over the place dancing, going ham.
I was like, what is happening? Can we go back to sleep?
Like I have a lot of energy. If you've ever seen my dad, I am my dad's child.
Yeah. Charisma's an energizer bunny. She got those genes. She doesn't quit. So I don't think anything is what?
She doesn't quit.
You don't quit. I would be the one to see it. I know you better than you know yourself. I don't think she's faking it.
Thank you, Cole, for confirming.
That's my expert opinion.
Yeah, no, it'd be too much work to fake it, honestly. Like, I think when people say that, they think it's so easy to fake happiness in a relationship. I think that would be the hardest thing ever to do. Like, do you think I would care enough to fake my happiness and
No,
that's
you don't.
Too much.
You don't care enough. In fact, in the past, over the course of years of doing YouTube, we've sat down for a video just like this and tried to start filming it. But we just we're in a bad mood or got annoyed or like something I said frustrated her, or something she said frustrated me, and like all of a sudden we're just not feeling it anymore. So we stop.
Yeah.
We're like, all right, scratch this. Let's do something else, think of something else, or pick this back up tomorrow.
Yeah.
Because we don't want to put fake crap out there.
Yeah, I literally, like, if we get in a little bit of an argument and then we're about to film, I'm like, I'm not doing it. Because there's no way I can sit here and fake happiness. It has to be genuine.
Once I hear that I'm done, I'm like, okay.
Yeah, and we do something else.
Yeah.
So that's just how we are.
And it works.
Yeah.
Oh. Go ahead, read it.
You read it.
No, you read it.
I'm going to just stare at the camera. You read it.
You read it.
Nope, you read it.
Cole is a better dancer.
What the heck? Where did that come from? Yes.
Keep it in the pocket. Right here, right in the pocket.
No, Cole's a good dancer. Cole has rhythm, for sure.
I wish I could, if I could get up and throw on what are the shoes called? My dancing shoes?
Yeah.
I would love that.
No, I think you could dance for sure.
I want you to throw it back on me.
Wow, that took a turn. I do that with your new wheelchair. I think Cole has good rhythm. I think I have good rhythm. I've been dancing since I was like 6, so I've been dancing a long time in my life. I just don't think I show like true dancing. Like I've never truly danced on any, like even when we do
an interpretive dance.
No.
We can do a vlog. I'll choreograph an interpretive dance.
You will choreograph?
Yeah. It'll be lots of this.
Oh my god.
And maybe some of that. And maybe some of this.
Oh my goodness. No, like I've danced for a long time. I just never actually danced. Like even when we do those little fake dances, I'm not seriously trying to dance my heart out, guys. I'm just like,
we're just having fun.
We're just having fun. So now
I am trying my heart out. Yes. Very hard. Especially that one where I had to do that.
Oh, you nailed it.
It's all the practice.
Wow.
If you haven't seen that video, go see it. Unfollow.
Goodness gracious, Cole. Put your arm down.
Obviously, feet aren't made for walking anymore, so I just do the best I can. You know, just a little wave.
Cole has the shoulders. Like, you got the shoulder rhythm. Like, you got it. Like, you have rhythm.
I wish I could get up and dance, man. I would go to salsa classes with you.
Oh, you'd be good at it.
I know.
You have rhythm, and it didn't come from your dad.
My dad's... Okay, I'm not going to fire at Dad. Love you, Dad.
No. Don't put what I said in there. Don't put that in there.
I think he knows. He knows. Why do you think he drinks so much? At the wedding. No, he's not never mind. All right, interesting. I think this is a common assumption as well. We don't work.
We don't. Just kidding. No. No, we do, guys. I think some people just don't understand how we make money, which I get it. It's very nuanced and complex. We do work. This week is a very, very, very busy week.
Very busy week.
We do a lot of speaking engagements, which takes a lot of time and preparation for. We do videos. We try to educate. We have a lot of educational content. We do.
Yeah, and I'm going to be editing these videos.
Cole is our editor. We do consultation, and then we work with brands too. So. It's different. It's not your typical 9-to-5 job. You know, it's a very unique job, but I still consider it a job.
It's, you know, it's interesting how things happen. Like, you know, as entrepreneurs, we put ourselves out there with our videos doing accessible content that makes Google see us. And they're like, come talk to our ERG about being disabled and interracial. And we're like, okay, we do that. They invite us to their headquarters. We're like, all right, cool. That went well. They like us. Let's go to their headquarters, learn more about their disability initiatives. And then who knows what could be next. So it's like, it's just like little things that pile on top of each other that are very different than a conventional, like just 9-to-5, clock in and clock out kind of job.
I will say I do miss 9-to-5 jobs.
There is a beauty in that routine, I will say, because our lives, like one week, it's like we're bored. And then the next week, it's like we're overwhelmed. It's like, what the heck?
I do miss the routine, and I miss like the week where the weekend comes and you can just shut off work. We never shut off work. Work, it's just like always thinking about content and doing this, because the more content we put out there, the more brands and businesses are aware of who we are, the more speaking engagements we get, the more all these different opportunities that we get. And then Cole's acting too, so it's a lot.
A lot. It's a mixed bag. It's a mixed bag. And it has to be, as a content creator, you wear a lot of hats. Manager, producer, director, videographer, editor, marketing, comms, like you do every hat.
Yeah, we don't put all of our eggs in one basket though. We have multiple sources of revenue.
Yes, of course.
And last but not least, one of you is more competitive than the other. Well, who would that one be?
We're both very competitive.
No, we go for it, yes.
Very competitive.
I think we're equal.
Equal?
Yeah. What were you saying?
I think you might be more competitive.
Really? Oh.
Yeah. You get fired up.
Like playing Mario Kart?
Like when we used to play Rocket League together all the time.
No, it's different.
You get fired up.
Yeah, it's because I hate Rocket League.
Oh.
But here's the thing, I never got that fired up playing Mario Kart with you.
You get fired up playing Mario Kart too.
No, you did me dirty one day playing Mario Kart. Like I have never
there it is.
been dogged so much by Cole.
Here
like
it is.
It was on a live session too, bro.
That was
like,
actually pretty savage.
It was savage. I was so mad, but I kept my cool. If it were Rocket League, I'd be so mad. I hated Rocket League. You're competitive too. You will quit after 3 games. And you're like, oh, I'm just done. I hate this game.
Really?
Mario Kart.
Oh, Mario Kart. Oh, I get frustrated after a while. When you're talking about competitiveness, I want to play a game that requires skill, not a bunch of randomness.
It's still skill, sweetie, and Cole gets mad if he doesn't get first. Like, that's literally it. Cole,
I like being good at things.
Yeah, like, you're really good at Mario Kart, and if he gets second, it's like, oh, this game's rigged. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me?
I just want to win, so maybe I am the more competitive one. I don't know.
I think we're pretty equal. It's just different.
Yeah. That's why I love Rocket League, though. It's the one game I found that makes me feel like I'm playing a sport again. Like, you know, I had basketball, like sports were a huge part of my life. There was lacrosse, there's basketball. I played football for a while, you know.
You really should join a team.
Hey, if there's a Rocket League squad out there that's looking for a member, I'm your boy. I'm decent. I'm decent.
Yeah.
I'm okay.
No, you're good.
I'm good. Decently good.
He's good. He's being very modest, I think the word is.
Yeah.
He's really good though.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's it for this list of assumptions.
That was a lot.
That was a lot.
Holy moly! It's a long video.
This might be 3 videos.
Wait.
We'll see.
No, we just do one long video.
Yeah.
Enjoy.
A lot of assumptions. A lot of similar assumptions to previous assumptions we've run into.
But more like baby assumptions.
Yeah.
Than we've gotten before, because that's kind of where we are in our life right now.
Right. My lesson I've learned this week personally with charisma is not to make assumptions. Because I've been making too many of those.
No, I wouldn't say you've been making too many. Sometimes, like, Cole has ADHD, and so sometimes it's really hard for him to remember conversations and like little details. And then I'm very detail oriented, so I remember all the details. And so Cole doesn't remember a detail. He'll kind of like make up something and be like, oh, this happened, kind of thing.
Because Charisma remembers every detail, she'll be sharing with me something that includes 4 details. And after I get the third, I'm like, okay, that should probably be enough details to know what I need to know. But then that last detail is the most important detail.
Crucial.
So then the assumption I made off the 3 other details, why did I make that assumption?
Mm-hmm.
You know,
It's crucial. It's crucial. Like, what does your dad say about assumptions?
oh, it makes an ass out of you and me. I think it's a common saying though.
I know, but I never heard it until your father.
Okay, let's shake my hand.
Okay, well, it's getting a little bright. The sun's coming in. It's about time we close this curtain before it gets blazing hot out
in
here.
this room that we have no air in.
Yeah, we're
Fans
gonna
not
turn the
even
air
on.
on. Yeah.
Thanks for hanging out.
Don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe, and stay
Positive. All right.
And don't make assumptions unless we ask you to. So, thank you for making assumptions today.